Hello boys and girls, and welcome to Chapter 6, Percents. Chapter 6, we're going to do it a little differently than what we've done before. This is actually going to be more of a review, and we're going to go through the chapter a lot faster. One, for the sake of time, we're approaching the end of the year, and we really want to focus more on more difficult lessons that you will really need for the following year and for 8th grade and 9th grade. So percents, I know that we've been looking at percents for easily two to 3 years now. When it's percent is whenever we talk on a scale out of 100, and you can see that it's done right here with a percent wheel, okay, or what we call a pie chart, and we know that the entire pie is worth 100%, and you can see that a quarter of it is approximately 25%, and this one is 24. So you know, you've seen these concepts before, and I know that you've drawn many of these in the past as well. Or you can use charts such as this one where you have it out of 100, okay? And you can convert these numbers out of a scale of 100 by using equivalent fractions, or what we just did in the previous lesson, ratios. So for the sake of time, again, let's do all the lessons for Chapter 6, which I believe is 6 or 7 lessons, and we will go through them a lot faster on this video, okay? Let's start with lesson 6-1, using the percent proportion. If you need other references, you can turn to page 250, 255 in your textbook. So for example, if you are ever given 42 out of 60, now I know that a lot of you have learned that if you have the number 42, for example, and let's say you got 42 correct on a question out of 60 points, you would write it 42 out of 60. And you know how to turn this into a decimal. You turn it into a decimal by dividing the top divided by the bottom. Okay? When you divide the top divided by the bottom, you can also see that they're both multiples. These are both multiples of 7. Sorry, I'll finish my thought before. When you divide the top divided by the bottom, you will get a decimal. And as I was mentioning, they're both multiples of 7. You know that if you divide the top divided by 7, you will have, sorry, they're both multiples of 6. You will have a 7. And on the bottom, if you divide the bottom by 6, you will get 10. You see that? So what I've done is I've simplified. Okay, 6 times 7 is 42, and 6 times 10 is 60. So it's 7/10. The way you say the number, you would say it as the way you would write it in the decimal, 7/10, 7 in the 10th place. Do you see that? Or, like I said before, divide 42 divided by 16, you get. Now when you have a decimal, I believe you can recall that a decimal can be turned into a percent by multiplying it by 100. So you multiply by 100, then you will get your percent, which is 70%. Okay? The decimal moves to the right twice because of the 2 zeros. But I just showed you how to do it by dividing the top divided by the bottom, or by simplifying the fraction and then converting it to a decimal. The way that you're being shown here is to use cross product, as we did in the previous lesson. So you would write 42 out of 60, and you want to make it out of 100, because you know that percent means per 100, right? Out of 100, por cien. So there you have it. Then you do cross multiply, and you get 60p right there, and cross product, sorry, and then 42 times 100 is 4200. Then you divide the 60, you bring it over to the other side, and you divide it on the other side, and it's 42 divided by 60 is 70. So R equals 70, or P. I see that they went with P, and then they had P, and then they changed it to R, and then back to P, and then R. That's a little strange, but yeah, your variable is 70. Therefore, 42 is 70% out of 60, or 42 out of 60 is 70%. You can say it either way. For example 2, we're being told 36 is 24% of what number? Now, when you're given this, boys and girls, we have to set up the ratio properly. So we know that we have 36, and they're telling us is 24% per 100. So it's out of 100, right? 24% means 24 out of 100. Okay? So 36 is 24, and that's why they're both written on the top, because 36 is 24, so they're both your numerator. What did I do to the 24 to make it 36, or what did I do to the 36 to make it 24? I know that 24 is 2/3 of 36. You see? Because here I have two 12s, and here I have 3 of them. right? 3/12. So, or I went up by 50%. You notice half of 24. Okay, half of 24 is 12, and that's how much I've gone by to make it 36. So this is looking at proportion, what we did in the previous lesson. So if I went up by 50% here to 36, I must do the same to the bottom. What's 50% of 100? 50. So I should go up to 150. Okay, that's using proportions, right? That's using proportions. But what if I went ahead and just did my cross product, where again I write 36 equals 24 over 100, 24%, right? Well, I can use cross product. Oh, sorry, this should be our x that we're looking for. So now I have 24x equals 3600, right? Because I multiply those. So then I bring the 24 over to the other side, which becomes division on this side because it's multiplication on this side, don't forget. So when I do divide that, how many 24s do I have in 3600? X equals, there's 150 of them. So 36 is 24% of 150. 36 is 24% of 150. Okay, for homework, please complete the following 9 questions. Remember that this is 6-1, so please title it as 6-1 and complete 1 to 9 in your notebooks. I'll zoom it in so that you can really see the questions. Okay, 12 is what percent of 60? So you would write 12 over 60 and then equals, just so a little reminder, 12 is what percent of 60? So you have 12 of 60, right? 12 out of 60 is what percent per 100? What is it? There you go. That's how you have to write it. This is a bit of a skill to be able to identify how to write it. But for example, here, what is 63%? So you know that it's 63%, so you already know that this is over 100, right? Of 30. Of 30. Out of 30. So you would write 130, or let's do it the other way, the way it appeared. 63% of 130. Out of 130. You see? And we're looking for that one. Okay, try these and then we will check them in class. Here, I'll scan them all the way down so that you have a good look at them. Okay, make sure that you can pause the video to complete them. Let's move on to lesson 6-2. Lesson 6-2, find percents of numbers mentally. You can refer to this on pages 256 to 260. Okay, let's take a look here at the examples. Find 40% of 90 mentally. You have to get familiar with what 40% is out of 100. You know that 40% is 2/5. It's 2/5 of 100, right? So really what we're looking for is 2/5 of 90. Okay, 2/5 of 90. You could multiply, whenever you see the off, you can multiply 90 times 2/5 or 90 times 0.4, right? Which is 2/5 as well. You could do it like that. Replace the off with multiplication sign. That's whenever you're looking for a percent of a number or a fraction of a number. Just multiply them. Now, what you're being told here, though, is to do it mentally. So you know that you're looking for 2 parts of 5 parts of 90. That means you have to be able to divide 90 divided by 5. And when you get that 1, you're going to get the unit rate. You're going to tell me what 2 of those are. So let's say, let me move this up. Let's say I have 2/5 of 90. Okay, I'm going to divide 90 divided by 5 because I want to look for what 2 parts are. Okay, if I divide it by 5, it's going to give me 1 part. 1 part is going to be 18. Yes, because I know that 10 parts, 5 times 10 is 50, and 5 times 8 is 40, and 40 plus 50 is 90. So I know that it's 18. Well, that's only 1 part. This right here is only 1 out of 5 part. Because I just divided it by 5, didn't I? I want 2 parts. I want this to be 2. 2 out of 5. So I need 2 of these. And 18 plus 18 is 36. This is the mental process that you have to make. And you see that's what they do here. 2/5 of 90. But they jump right to 36. They don't tell you how they actually did it. Remember, you can multiply 90 times decimal 0.4, and that'll also give you your 36. Okay, now let's try estimating. 78% of 112. Whenever I see the word estimate, boys and girls, I go right ahead and I turn these numbers into friendlier numbers. I round them. I'm going to look for 80% of 110. 80% is 4/5, right? It's 4 out of 5, because if I count by 20s, how many 20s do I have here? 20, 40, 60, 80. I have 4 of them. Yes? So that's why it's 4/5, because in 100 we have 5 of them, right? So I have 4/5 of 110. Can 110 be divisible by 5? Yeah, it can be, right? Because I want to find 4 of them. It can be because it ends in 0. So when I divide this by 5, I get, let me see, 22, right? I get 22 of them. 22 would be only 1/5, right? 1/5. 1/5. 22 of them would be 1/5. Okay, there it is. 1/5. I need 2 of them, so it would be, no, not 2 of them. I need 4 of them. So this multiplied times 4 is going to be about 88. Okay, about 88. Now that's an estimate. That's one way to do it. Some of you might take this number, instead of rounding up to 80, you might round down to 75. 75%, right? Which is the same as 3/4, 3 out of 4. And now you'll take your 3/4 of 112, and you know that 112 is divisible by 4. And then once you divide it by 4, and you get your 28, okay, you find what 3 of them would be, right? Because this is only 1 of them. Right here, this is only 1. This is 1/4, but we want 3 of them. So what's 3 of them? 28 times 28 times 28 is 84. So that would be another answer. But you notice how we got 88 and 84? Since they're saying estimate, they're both right. It's just an estimate. It's a number close to it. I'm sure you already figured out that you could also do cross product, where you write your 78%, 78 per 100, out of 112. And there you go. You could do it like this, right? If you really wanted to do cross product, simplify this. Simplify it. You know this is divisible by 2 and this is divisible by 2. So go ahead and simplify. This would be 39, right, over 50. And instead of cross multiplying with this number, you cross multiply with this number. So now for 6-2, go ahead and title this 6-2, right? This is your homework. 6-2. Go ahead and complete these 10 questions. Okay, 10 to 19. Try it. You can do cross product. You can do estimating. 50% of 36. 50% is half, right? So half of 36. That should be quite easy for you. This is again why we're doing it this way. It's a quick review. Go ahead and complete that. Okay, we will do lessons 6-3 and 6-4 on a new video. Please pause and complete this. See you in class, everyone.